This is it. The moment the entire baseball world stops and asks, what just happened? We had him at 40%, the final dazzling piece of the Dodger dynasty puzzle. Bo Bichette, the dynamic shortstop, was destined for the blue and white, ready to join Shohei Ohtani and Yoshinobu Yamamoto in the next great Los Angeles super team.
But in an utterly shocking and dramatic twist reported just hours ago, the deal hasn't just stalled, it has evaporated, collapsing completely from 40% probability down to 0 in a lightning-fast sequence of events. Welcome to 615 Al Dia Baseball, where the game is always deeper than the box score. And today, we are diving into the strategic chasm that swallowed the Dodgers' pursuit of one of the game's brightest young stars. If the club that just committed over $1 billion to 2 players won't pay for a 27-year-old generational talent, we must understand the precise calculation of risk versus reward that informed this stunning pivot. To understand the magnitude of this decision, you first have to appreciate what the Dodgers walked away from. Bo Bichette is not merely a good player, he is an elite offensive engine, a career .299 hitter who has twice led the league in hits. Last season, despite battling a nagging injury, he posted a phenomenal .311 average, 18 home runs, and 94 RBIs in only 135 games. As veteran analyst Rex Palmer noted, we are talking about arguably the best offensive shortstop in baseball reaching his contractual peak. For the Dodgers to say no to that kind of production is not cheapness, it's a calculated, brutal strategic decision. The core of the breakdown, as reported by U.S. baseball insider Bob Nightingale, was tenure. The Dodgers simply were not willing to offer the kind of long-term contract, 7, 8, maybe even 10 years, that a 27-year-old superstar in his prime rightfully demands. This fact throws down the gauntlet and exposes the deep underlying conflict in today's high-stakes FA market. The clash between a player's quest for security and a club's desperation for future payroll flexibility. Now, I can hear the immediate counterargument forming in the minds of every fan right now. The Dodgers are just out of money after Ohtani and Yamamoto. They blew the budget. But that interpretation is too simplistic, too emotional, and ultimately incorrect. This isn't about running out of cash, it's about risk tolerance. The Dodgers demonstrated they are willing to pay astronomical sums, but only for transcendent foundational talents like Ohtani and Yamamoto, whose market value dictated non-negotiable long-term deals. For every other player, the strategy has visibly shifted. After committing to those 2 mega deals, the threshold for acceptable long-term risk skyrocketed, explained salary cap expert Dr. Eliza Chen. The Dodgers have suddenly become fiercely pragmatic. They are looking at the potential cost of Bichette's age 35-36 seasons, which, given the injury history, could be fiscally devastating, and opting for depth instead of dazzling excess at one position. The ghost haunting this negotiation was Bichette's left knee. His persistent left knee injury last season, which saw him miss crucial stretches of the schedule, culminated in a truly telling sequence of events in October. While he eventually returned for the World Series, the utilization was shocking. For the first time in his major league career, he was asked to play second base, relieving him of the demanding lateral movement required at shortstop. That detail, that desperate mid-October repositioning, was the red flag the Dodgers' medical staff could not ignore when assessing a contract that would guarantee him $250 million or more. A long-term deal requires the team to buy into the player's health 5, 6, 7 years down the road. Once they saw him at second base in October, the internal confidence in his durability as an elite everyday shortstop dissolved, stated former GM Marty Hughes. They look at the data. An aging shortstop with lingering lower body issues is the fastest way to turn a generational asset into an untradeable liability. The shift from 40% to 0% wasn't about the current production, it was about the projected risk multiplier of his knee 4 years from now. This reluctance to commit long-term exposed a deep ideological gulf between the 2 parties. Bichette, standing at the summit of his physical prowess, needed that career-defining 8-year contract to secure his future. He was not willing to accept a shorter, high AAV deal. The Dodgers, recognizing they already possess capable, younger, and cheaper infield assets,
simply decided they couldn't justify allocating their final massive budget allocation to a position they could fill internally. This is the ultimate plot twist in the Dodgers' offseason strategy. The collapse of the Bichette deal wasn't a blunder. It was a masterful, cold-blooded tactical decision to divert resources away from an oversaturated infield position and toward areas of critical need, such as the bullpen or perhaps a designated first baseman, where their money would buy maximum competitive advantage.
The ripple effect of this failure to launch is immediate and intense, turning the FA market for top-tier infielders into a furious free-for-all. With the Dodgers out, Bichette's focus now seems to have shifted, strongly favoring the National League's Philadelphia Phillies, a team that desperately needs a boost in the infield and has already reportedly initiated discussions.
This move would dramatically heat up the NL East race, pairing Bichette with Bryce Harper and the dynamic Phillies lineup. However, we cannot ignore the American League giants. Both the New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox have expressed keen interest. A move to the AL East, placing Bichette in the middle of that historic rivalry, particularly with the Yankees needing a long-term solution at the 6, would elevate the competition to an astronomical level.
Imagine Bichette batting against Garrett Cole or playing defense opposite Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in Toronto. That kind of rivalry would be pure electricity. The Dodgers may have prioritized strategic depth and budget flexibility over Bichette's .311 bat, but in doing so, they have thrown one of the biggest FA prizes back into the water, guaranteed to deepen the talent pool for their rivals.
The lesson here is clear. Even in the era of billion-dollar contracts, a team's strategy is ultimately defined not by the stars they acquire, but by the risks they deliberately choose to avoid. The Dodgers' reluctance regarding the long-term contract speaks volumes, not about their bank account, but about their fierce, almost paranoid commitment to mitigating health risk in the post-Ohtani era.
Where do you think Bichette will land now that the Dodgers have slammed the door shut, and do you believe this was the right, cold-hearted strategic call for Los Angeles? Let us know in the comments below. Share this video with everyone who needs to understand the true calculation behind this shocking collapse. And of course, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to 615 Al Dia Baseball for all the deepest insights into the Diamond Wars.